Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of With the Boys podcast. Come and hang out with the boys. Today, I have a great guest. The first female, actually, of the podcast, Jordyn Johnson. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yeah? All right. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah, we were talking about, before the podcast started, that I was a little nervous today. I don't know why I was nervous. Yeah. I think, you know what? I think it's been a long day. It's end of the day, you know?
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Calming
And you're the
down
first female
nerves.
that I have here in the podcast, and I'm like, okay,
That's why.
okay, maybe that's why. Yeah. So how you doing?
Good. Doing good.
Busy day?
Yes. I'm pretty busy.
Oh yeah. That's the hustle you had to do as an entrepreneur, right?
Yes, that's right. Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So I like to start with an icebreaker, right? So I'm gonna ask a few would you rather questions, just to get us
Right.
going with the conversation, get to know a little bit more about you. Here's the first one, okay? This one's an interesting one, okay? So would you rather have the ability to see 10 minutes into the future?
Probably 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, why? Because I tend to be impatient. And, I mean, who knows? I probably won't be alive in 150
years. Yeah. That's true. The only reason I would pick 10 minutes is because I think I can make a bigger impact in the long run if I know exactly what's going to happen in 10 minutes
That's good.
than 150. Like in 150, I might be able, to make like the butterfly effect kind of thing, but still it's
Yeah.
150, too many factors.
Yeah, that's true.
To
That's a lot
influence that.
deeper than my answer.
Oh, we go deep here.
Oh,
We
yeah,
just,
no, I like
just
it.
get into it,
That's
right? All right. Would you rather have telekinesis, right? The power to move stuff, the ability to move things with your mind, or telepathy, the ability to read minds?
Ooh,
That's a good one.
that is a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would want to know what people are thinking.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Can I control who I can hear their minds?
It doesn't say, but that's a good point. Yeah.
If I can block from hearing certain minds, then I would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hard question.
Yeah. Would it be, in my case, if I would pick that one, I think it would be business purposes. If I'm trying to close a deal, I can read the person's mind and kind of see where the pushback is and just talk around it,
Okay. Yeah. Can I?
I will be the best salesman in the world.
You would be. That's so true. Do I have to be in the room with this person? Or can I when
That's
I'm working from home, just tap into somebody else's brain? Because if I could do that, that'd be
dope.
Yeah.
That's an interesting. I don't know. Yeah, let's say that you had to be near.
I guess if I could control their thoughts and pick what I wanted to hear, I would.
Yeah,
do
pick that one.
Yeah.
I think I will go with the telekinesis though. Myself.
Really?
Yeah.
What would you move?
A lot of stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sitting here. The remote's over there.
Just You're on your couch. I just want popcorn.
And technically I can fly. If I can move stuff, right? I can maybe just step on something and
Move yourself.
move myself. Yeah, I can
Wow.
move myself and fly.
Levitating. Cool.
And I will use it to fight for justice.
Yeah.
Fight crime.
Yeah. You could definitely.
Or
use it for
maybe
good.
I'll become a villain. I don't know. Maybe I tend to lean more to the villain side. I'm just kidding.
That's funny.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Cool.
both of them can be used wrong, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the third one is: would you rather team up with Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel? You know who Captain Marvel is? Captain Marvel? No. Have you seen the Avengers movie? No. Well, she's
Well, I know my answer.
Okay.
Yeah, Wonder Woman.
Why?
Because she's awesome. I actually dressed up for Halloween as Wonder Woman,
Nice.
and I just felt empowered.
Oh, really?
Strong. Yeah.
That's good.
Like I could
Yeah. I
conquer
mean,
the world with her.
you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, both of them are pretty cool. Well, both of them are pretty good. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
strong. They're strong.
Cool.
Both of them strong females.
Can't
So,
go wrong there.
huh?
Can't go wrong there.
You cannot go wrong with Wonder Woman. Not definitely not. I don't know. I will not pick there. If I can get Wonder Woman's strength, maybe that would be cool.
You'll
Yeah.
have to watch the movie.
Yeah, you had to. They're pretty good, actually. Let's move on to the next one. Would you rather be forced to sing along or dance every single song you hear? So, would you rather sing along or dance every single song you hear? Are you a singer?
I like to sing.
You like to sing?
I'll leave it at
So
that.
here's the thing. I like to sing, but I'm not a good singer.
I mean,
You're good. You in tune?
I don't know. Yeah, I love to sing. Let's just say that. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you'll pick that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll pick singing because it seems like I don't have to sing every single time, but dancing every song I hear, man, I will be dancing all the
Work.
time.
Yeah.
Right?
I like to dance too, so that's actually a tough question for me.
Yeah, but what if you're in a meeting and then all of a sudden you hear a song? Like if let's say you and I are doing business right now, and I'm like trying to convince, like talking, not convince you, but like showing my services and like, look, this is all the benefits you will get by working with me, Jordyn. So if we follow the pattern, like very serious, and all of a sudden we hear like drop it like it's and you just go like this.
Oh my gosh. It wouldn't be the first time, but yeah, not anymore.
What does that mean? Wait, what does that mean? What does that mean? Not be the first time.
Well, I used to.
Drop it like I said.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Would say I've moved on.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could probably assume that I meant that I used to.
Yeah.
Anyways,
moving on. Next topic.
yeah.
So singing.
Yeah,
Okay, you pick singing.
I mean,
okay.
I think it would be weird regardless if you're just breaking out in song,
Right.
like during a business meeting. That would be weird too. But
Yeah, but the dancing's kind of, I don't know, because imagine I just doing it. I just so awkward, right? Like if I'm talking to someone and all of a sudden imagine you keeping eye contact and then they just start like.
like I would not be able to
Oh,
keep my cool.
Right, like are you okay? Are you okay, buddy? All right. Would you rather be in jail for 5 years or be in a coma for a decade? Oh, that went dark.
What was 5 years?
A prison. You would like go to the prison.
Oh yeah.
Prison?
Yeah.
Then coma? Why?
Just shorter time. I mean, I guess you wouldn't be really vigilant if you're in a coma, so
Yeah.
it'd probably go by fast. But
Yeah.
then you'd be 10 years older.
True.
Who knows what you would look like?
But you will come out of prison like
Feeling like
old.
a vegetable. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
You
I would
lose
say
time.
prison. Yeah.
Prison? Yeah.
At least I could
You can do some stuff in there,
function. Yeah.
Maybe take some classes.
Yeah.
Work
that's
out.
true. I could work out.
Come out like all like buff and stuff. Full tattoos.
Yeah. I actually started going to the gym this week, so that's
Oh, that's good.
goes with the flow. Yeah.
What gym?
Choose.
Okay.
It's like around here.
Is it the one across the freeway right here?
Mm-hmm.
Never been there. Is it good?
Yeah. I'm not really a gym person, but
Okay. What are you?
I like to run.
You like to run?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like marathons and stuff?
No, not marathons.
No
That's,
marathons?
That's a little too long for me.
Okay.
Like 5Ks, like 3 miles.
Okay.
Basically, or less.
Are you like speed? Like, are you fast running?
Right now, not so much,
Not so
but
much.
I'm training,
Okay.
so
Or you used to be fast?
decently.
Decently. Okay.
I guess I was mediocre when I was in college because it was all college athletes, and they were like
Super good.
super good. So
Yeah, like super fast,
yeah,
right?
but for the average person, pretty decent. Yeah.
All right. That's awesome. So you like to run. Why?
It's therapeutic for me. Yeah. I grew up running with my dad. So we did a lot of 5Ks when I was younger. And I've always loved it. Yeah.
Cool.
I like to race and be competitive.
Oh, that's good. So you are competitive.
Mhm.
Yeah. You're like, even you lose, like, you're like, oh, congratulations. You're like,
No, I mean, I try to stay humble. But,
yeah.
you know,
It's
not always easy.
I mean, it has to be a level of like have to win, right?
Yeah.
So you can win.
Oh,
It
yeah.
Has
You
to
always
be
want to win.
yeah, it has to be. Even if you lose, like, okay, it sucks losing, but next time I'll get you.
The good thing with 5Ks, there's hundreds of people usually.
Mm-hmm.
So the chances of you losing,
It's 100.
is slim, unless you're really slow. I mean, you got to be walking to lose. Like
lose. So do they have like, you first, second, and third place is like the best? Like they get like the medals and stuff? Or?
Yeah, but they usually do it by age group. So it'll be like 18 to 25 and then 26 to whatever. And they'll do like first place, second place, and third place for each. And male and female, they'll separate.
Are you planning to do one soon?
Yeah, there was one this weekend that I was going to do, but I decided not to. I want to get more training in before I do one. But
you put yourself in that situation.
Yeah. I'm going to feel a little bit better when I run, but
yeah.
So hopefully by like April.
I'll
do something. Yeah.
Okay, we'll keep in touch and see if you push it. Like, come on, girl, you have to train. You have to get first place.
I could use that accountability. But I don't know if the Cherish conference, you know how they do Emerge and then they do Cherish? So they do a Cherish 5K at Cherish conference.
Okay.
And I did it last year, and I got third place.
Nice. Congrats.
So this year, my goal is to get first place.
First place. I'm pretty sure you'll get it. Yeah. Third place. That's pretty good, actually. Thanks. How many people were?
At least 100. I'm not sure. It was women, all
third
women.
Place.
So, like.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're all women, so it's like you were third place.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel good about yourself. Good. Yeah, that's pretty dope. You were 100 people, so you beat 97.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know numbers exactly. No.
Yeah.
But
no, you didn't beat.
That was just guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how many there were.
Just like a calculation. Let's say 100. Just more or less. But man, beating 97 people is not. It's not just. Bad. Yeah, it's not. It's really good. It's 97 people slower than you. I will be bragging. Like, yeah, bro, I was super fast. These 97 people had not a chance with me. Had not a single chance.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. So tell me more about the running. So you started running because you used to run with your dad. Tell me more about that. Is that something? Where are you from?
I'm from Pennsylvania. Okay. I was born in Lompoc, California, but grew up in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Yeah. When did you move to Pennsylvania?
When I was 4. So
okay. Wow. Well, that's technically you're from Pennsylvania. Like you were born here in Cali. Yeah, but you grew up there, so it's kind of you don't have the California lingo maybe or.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know actually if I'm catching on to it since I've been here, but I don't know. I have a lot of family in California, so I've visited growing up, but
okay. Cool. All right, so you were moved to Pennsylvania when you were 4. You were with your dad and your parents, both of them there?
Yes.
Okay. So then why is your dad like into running? Is he like an athlete or what he does that he runs every morning?
Yeah, I mean, he was in the Air Force. So he moved out to Lompoc. He was there his entire time. And then he met my mom. Mm-hmm. And he got out of the military, and he's always been active. He went straight into the prison system. So he was a lieutenant for the prison system. And then he was also a part of the SWAT team, if that means anything.
That's dope, yeah.
So he was very fit, and he still is fairly fit for his age. And he still goes to the gym. Wow. And
He's one of those dads, huh?
A little bit, yeah. Cool. We ran together, like, I don't know when the last race we ran together. It was probably when I was 24. So a couple years ago, 4 years ago.
That's cool.
It started when I was probably 8.
So he trained you, he showed you how to do it and stuff like that?
A little bit, yeah. He was doing them, and then he just brought me along.
Yeah, so in the beginning, were you able to keep up with him? I mean, at 8 years old, it's kind of...
No, I couldn't. I do remember one of my first races. I was not registered, and I think it was because I was like young and I just didn't think I could keep up, and I couldn't keep up with my dad at the time, but I ended up placing in the top 3, I think, for my age, but I wasn't registered, so I didn't get a medal or anything.
Yeah.
So that was a bummer, but from then on I never missed a registration for a race. But me and my dad, like, we went back and forth growing up. Like, I would get faster than him, and then he would get faster than me, and then we would slow down and go back and forth. And then I hit college, and he couldn't keep up with me.
He couldn't keep up with you anymore? No. You were faster than him?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's good. Where did you go to college?
I went to Indiana University of Pennsylvania. So it was in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, well.
Yeah,
so tell me, what was your major and stuff like that? What would you go for?
I studied marketing and interior design. I finished out the marketing degree, but I never finished the interior design degree just because I was in track and then ROTC and cross country, and then I played soccer at one point there. So I was very busy.
Are you good at soccer?
I'm okay. I haven't played in a while, so right now
you
it's a different story.
You entering a dangerous territory right there.
Do you play?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you good?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, maybe you could get that one out. But that was funny. Wow.
Of course I'm good. I'm Mexican.
Wow. What position?
I used to be the right wing.
Wow.
Yeah, like
Lots of running.
Mm-hmm. I grew up playing soccer.
Yeah.
So I didn't follow that path or anything, but I mean, I feel like anybody there. When I got here, and that's not like even my main sport, right? My main sport was like combat sports, boxing. But I remember when I got to the United States when I was like 16, 17, I was playing with some, people here. And they're like, wow, these guys are bad. These guys are not good. These guys are not good at all.
I thought you were going to say, like, really good.
No, they're not good. They're not. At the time, and maybe it was just that group of people that was playing. But, yeah. The team that I joined was like, we kicked it butt. And we were like the best for a long time. Nice. Yeah, obviously. It's good. Yeah. All right, so you play a lot of sports. You didn't finish interior design. And then I know you were in the military. Yeah, so tell me about that. Why did you join, or how did you join the military?
So my dad has a friend that was like a sergeant major in the Army, and he was like an uncle to me. So he kind of suggested it and brought it up to me. At the time I was 18, 17 maybe, and looking for colleges. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with my life. So I thought about it, and I'm like, wow, this would give me time to figure it out, and then I could get college paid for. So a big motivator was the education benefits, and yeah,
that's cool.
Is that all the question?
No, I was just because I know you were in the military. I have a lot of questions about that actually. Okay. So for once, which part of the military you were in, or like what were you in?
The Army.
Army, but what specifically? Like what was your job?
Oh, what was my job?
Yeah.
So I started off, I enlisted first in the National Guard, so that's part-time. And so I was a SIGINT analyst. Maybe you can cut that.
SIGINT, okay.
SIGINT, so
SIGINT.
Signals Intelligence.
Oh, okay.
Analyst, yeah.
So what's that?
I have to remember. I know what it is, I promise.
Yeah.
But it's using signals to analyze. It could be anything. It could be it's top secret, so I can't talk too much about it.
Yeah, top secret, guys.
No, but it's basically
I'm about to ask all the questions right now. All of it. Tell me.
Hey, I
9/11, who did it? I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh. So it's using signals to analyze data and maybe manipulate it a little bit to... Nobody's asked me this question. I'm trying to think.
You're trying to formulate so you don't reveal anything?
Yeah, well, I don't even... Yeah, at this point, it's been so long, I don't even know what would be a secret anymore.
So let's make it easier. So what do you do? Like, you get signals? What kind of signals? Yeah, were you like in a pose and you were like listening to, I don't know, radio signals?
Yes, lots of communication. Okay. So radio, it could be through different forms of equipment, but you basically listening to see what the enemy's gonna do.
Okay.
To predict it.
To predict and prevention.
Yeah.
So you were like in the prevention aspect of things, to like prevent
a little
things
bit.
from happening. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember. It's been 10 years.
It's been 10 years. So did you if let me know if you can say this, but were you like listening to some places where we were actually in the battlefield? Like,
no, I've never been deployed, and when I was first joining, I went to basic, and then I went to my AIT, which is Advanced Individual Training, and that's where I learned all of the stuff, how to do it, and it was about 6 months long, and I came back and went to my drill units, like once a month. That's how it works. And we didn't have any facilities to do our jobs because it's top secret. And like in Pennsylvania, there's not much of a need, or there's just not the facilities that we needed. So I didn't really get to do my job after getting out of my training. So right after that training, I went straight to college. Okay. So I didn't get much experience doing it.
On that, okay.
It was all practice.
All practice. Yeah. Okay. What kind of practice was like? I'm just very curious. Like intelligence. Like I just in my mind, I have a big imagination, guys. So when you tell me like, oh yeah, I work in the military and intelligence, I think like,
yeah, it's hard.
Oh, we got him, and then just
kinda.
Like,
I mean, essentially, but it would be like, I honestly hope I don't get in trouble for saying. I don't think I will, because it's like public information. But you go to where you get trained, where your AIT is, and then you go to class, just like any school or training. So we would go into our buildings, and it's a classroom setting. So you go in there, and they give us scenarios and all these different things. That's what I mean by practice.
Okay. So. And they kind of like fake scenarios, and you had to like solve the thing. Or okay, well that's cool.
Just like a math class, like you go in there and they give you examples to work on.
To solve. Okay, cool. So you went to the military, and then after that you went to school.
Yes.
Is that when you went for interior design and marketing after that? Okay, cool. So what made you go into marketing and interior design? What was like?
So I've always had my heart for interior design, but I pretty much was told when I was younger that it's a hobby and you can't make money doing it. So I didn't fully pursue it. I was encouraged to do marketing because I had family members that were really successful and making a lot of money. So that's what I chose. And I was like, I can do both. So I tried both. And then it was way too overwhelming, so I ended up having to drop the interior design. But so I stuck with the marketing because I figured it would be a good business foundation. Every business needs marketing, and if I ever wanted to go back for interior design, I could. Yeah,
and you can market yourself.
Yes,
you know how to do it. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's cool. So you went marketing. So what do you do now?
What do I do now? Wow, that was a big jump.
No, I guess I'm going back to marketing because we talk.
What do I do?
We talk already, so I kind of know a little bit of your business transition and everything that you're going through. So you finish your marketing, and you know how to do marketing, right? Now, what's your business? Are you utilizing marketing to your current business right now?
I should be. Honestly, it's been like almost. I'm trying to calculate it. Almost 5 years since I graduated college. So, and after I graduated college, I went active duty in the Army. So I haven't used my degree, and I've only used what I know from like social media, the typical reels, all of that kind of stuff. So I do have all my marketing books I can go back and refer to. But my marketing degree was a lot of focusing on like the data, and I didn't love it.
You didn't?
No, I didn't love doing it, but I knew it would be good for me.
Yeah.
But
the thing with marketing, I because there's aspects of it that I don't love either. and that's technically that's what I do for a living. I don't like the technical stuff. You know,
Yeah.
that kind of is like I know how to do it, and I'm good at doing it, but it's just I don't enjoy doing it. It's just like I know that I have to do it
Yeah.
because it's part of and anything that like process, like there's things that you're not gonna like. Let's say an example like boxing, right? If you're gonna fight somebody, there's things that you don't like to do, like maybe you had to run for like 5 miles every single day. I I don't know if I like to run, but I don't know if I like to run every single day.
Yeah.
You get me? Like,
I get that.
yeah. So that's the thing is like there are things that I feel sometimes that we kind of have to do. And Mike Tyson said um, something on a video that I saw from him. He said something like, um, discipline is you do things or something you don't like to do, and you do them like you love them, even if you don't like them to do. So I
That's
kind of
so
get
good.
stuck, and yeah, I kind of get stuck. It's like
Good though.
okay, discipline is do something that you don't like to do, but do it like you love it. And I'm like, okay, so
That's pretty good.
that's pretty good. Yeah, Mike Tyson, he's wiser than we think. You know, maybe it's the age. Maybe he's getting through a lot. So, so okay, so you have your marketing degree, and tell me, so right now, what projects are you working on?
Projects. Currently I'm working on an Airbnb design project. I own the home. It's a little bit real estate investing and a lot design right now because I'm in the planning stages of it. So
So where's that
it's
located?
in South Carolina.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
Why there?
I was stationed there
Okay, you were stationed there for how long?
about a year.
About a year. Do you like it there?
It's okay. It's humid.
It's humid.
It's not like San Diego.
It's not.
So.
Yeah, it's not like San Diego. That's true. So I never been there in South Carolina, but yeah, it's kind of tough to beat California, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. All right.
Cheaper. It's cheaper there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everywhere is cheaper.
Everywhere is cheaper. Yeah. But not in New York, at least. That's expensive. Okay, so you were there. You have an Airbnb there that you are like currently working on.
Yeah, it's actually currently it's a long term, but the tenants are moving out in May. So
Okay.
I'm preparing it and doing a lot of research on Airbnb design, then the business operational side of things too. So
You must be loving the design aspect of things, right?
I do.
Yeah, because
It's fun.
that's what you want to do.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
What do you like the most about the interior design?
I mean, you can be creative. That's just
It's like art.
yes,
Right?
it's like art, but it's I don't know. It's just so like it's one of the things that kind of come naturally to me. So, I mean, I would say it's a gift. Not everybody has it. So it's a fun thing to like cultivate and to use. And I don't get too many opportunities yet to do it. So, I really just like being creative. I feel like kind of like a fire in my soul when I do it, and it's
There
so
you go.
cool.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. So that's your passion then. That's kind of like
Yeah.
you like to do. You are creative in that way.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so you like I imagine, right? Because like I'm designing. If let's say you get a client, I'm designing something for this person to like be is their house or their apartment. It's like just to be comfortable. You know, they're gonna love it.
Yeah.
All those emotions that go into that. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess a better answer to that question would be that I really love making an impact on people, and to see somebody walk into their home that's newly decorated and designed is you could just feel if they like it.
Yeah.
You could feel that instantly,
Yeah.
or if they don't like it. But just like I really think creating an atmosphere that fits what they want is so fulfilling because that's the place that they're going home to every day.
Yeah.
So it's super important to create an environment that you're comfortable in,
Yeah.
that you love being at, and
Yeah, that's it's so important where you live or like the environment around you, right? Because let's say like I'm a messy person, right? Like, but I try not to. But I'm like in that aspect, like I'm always doing something. Sometimes I'm very practical, right? So like if I leave something here, is because I know that it's gonna be there all the time, and I just walk and just get it. It might not look aesthetic pleasing, leave my keys here all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I know they're there, and every time that I exit through the door, I just right there and just grab them, right? So, but I think it goes back to psychology, right? Like if you have a nice space that you feel comfortable, that you feel relaxed, the right colors, the right furniture, paintings, fireplace or whatever, and then you just had a long day from work, and you just get to that place,
Yeah.
and you just sit down there and just relax, read a book or whatever you do to kind of like decompress and stuff. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Has a huge influence in your life.
Yeah. I mean, I look like, I think if somebody walks in their house and there's just
A bed.
like, it's just, yeah, I mean, most dudes are okay with that, but
Yeah.
I know how much of an impact it can make for, especially like a family.
Yeah.
I recently helped a friend decorate and design her house a little bit. She recently purchased a house, and just hearing the people that walk into the house and how they feel about it and the way it makes them feel is just really exciting to me, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody feels that way,
Yeah.
but it's like, I mean, you really are cultivating an atmosphere that people love to be in, and they don't know exactly why, but it's a formulation of the things that are in the house, but how you
Plays them and stuff.
yeah, and yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but
The psychology of it.
what?
The psychology of it.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I took singing lessons yesterday.
Oh yeah.
So that's funny you asked about singing.
I think so too. I think it makes a huge impact, right? Like I know, like most, I speak for myself, right? But a lot of dudes are the same way. Like we just have a bed, we're practical. This is what I need, my computer, yada yada. Like my apartment, right? So I have my apartment and very practical. So I just have my desk with what I work. I have my bed and like very practical stuff, right? And I don't even have like a living room per se. I did that on purpose. I did that on purpose just for me to be like, okay, I'm focused on this right now. And if I have a couch and I have a TV, it's gonna distract me. So that can make sense on my, at least to me, right? Maybe if I paint my house or my apartment, it will make me feel better, every time I'm there, more relaxed, the colors, it will, yeah. So like all those things like help out, to feel their emotions, right? You get emotions from anything, for everything you see and sense or smell, like or generate emotions at one point. So is that something that you are like looking forward to do? Like you planning to do that interior design as as a business?
Yeah.
After you finish with your Airbnb projects?
Yeah, I'm working on building my design business as well as my investing business. So I'm kind of simultaneously working on different projects here, but that's the main one right now. That's the main one I'm focusing
Airbnb.
on.
Yeah. That's cool. And what motivates you to do all those things? I mean, obviously the financial motivation is always there, right? Because we had to kind of make money to survive in this in this world, in this country. But like besides that, what motivates you to like be entrepreneur, like do your own things?
I think I just kind of got sick of the way I was living, the 9 to 5 lifestyle, and a lot of times in the Army, it's more than 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So it was pretty extreme at times. I was just ready to pursue entrepreneurship and really creating my own lifestyle and not be so controlled.
Why do you feel controlled?
In the Army?
Is that why the Army controls you a lot?
Yeah, I mean,
it's funny, right? It's like you fight for freedom and then you feel control in it.
Yes.
So is it because of the discipline of it, or?
It really just depends. The Army is great. I love the Army. Still my favorite branch.
What?
I think in general, the military is a discipline and sacrificial life. So it really depends on who your leadership is, what unit you go to. So they're not all bad.
Yeah.
A lot of them are great, I'm sure.
I'm sure. I heard.
I haven't experienced that. No,
Yeah.
I'm just playing. But yeah, it was my career was unique. So, because I would say I'm a pretty disciplined person, so I was able to manage it. But it wasn't the most enjoyable. But it was good for me. It was good for me to get through that and say I've done my time and move on. So
that's interesting. So you say that you didn't enjoy that. Which part? The data part?
no. So after college, I commissioned as an officer because I did ROTC in college, and that's when in 2018 is when I went active duty. So I got stationed at Fort Irwin, California, the National Training Center, which is, if you know, you know. But I was an intelligence officer. So it's it's the same field as an enlisted Can you get that?
Yeah.
It's a little bit different than an enlisted SIGINT analyst because less of a leadership role and more of a action taking, executing role. As an officer, it's more so leadership, and you're doing a lot of the planning. You have hands-on, but it's not as hands-on because you're in that leadership role.
Okay.
As an officer, as an intelligence officer, you basically it's similar, I guess, but not so specialized. It was more of a specialized role at a lower level. Mine was like finding the battlefield or finding the bad guy on the battlefield and being in direct contact with the commander to
provide information.
Yeah, provide information. I was gonna say kill the enemy, but that was a little harsh. But ultimately, that is what
it is. Yeah. No, you can be open here. You know, you can.
I know.
I think in the military is they're not just playing around.
Yeah,
yeah. It is the military is trained exactly to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what is the army for, to protect. And people die, unfortunately. But there's people have jobs that do that. You know. Okay. So and on the, do you have any case or any like experience that you when you were working doing that they kind of like impact you in your life that you're like, that was really tough for me for the decision that I had to make, or like something that like that was just like heartbreaking, or that was tough, or something like that, you know what I'm trying to say? Like occasion that you kind of like you went home and just like cry or like pray or just like, because this can be a tough world, you know.
So I think I say it's a unique career for me because that was my first duty station. It's essentially a duty station where all the units come there to train for pre-deployment. So if you're stationed there, you're there for longer than what these units come for. And you are, depending what unit you get placed into, you are the enemy. So we're acting as the enemy so that they can come and train. Okay. If that makes sense.
Yes, makes sense, yeah.
So it replicates like Middle Eastern. It's in the desert, very isolated, very hot. And it's one of the tougher duty stations to be at, as far as I've heard, because of the environment, because it's a really harsh work schedule. You don't get much time off. And, I mean, you're preparing our army to go fight. So it's a serious thing, and people are...
It's really important.
Yeah, super important. So everybody's kind of on edge a lot. I got put in a situation where I was under leadership that was very different for me. I've always relied on my faith, and this leader was not very positive, and I've always been kind of a positive person, and It was just a combination of several factors that made it really hard. So from there, it was one of the hardest times in my life being there. And I really just it felt like I just had to survive to get through it. I knew it would finish, but it didn't feel like it would ever be over because it was such a long time, it felt like, at least. And so I really, really hung on to my faith there, or at least I tried as much as I could. So I prayed and I got through it by the grace of God, literally. Yeah.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So so there were several factors that kind of make a hard time to be there. Was that just like the whole time you were there, or just that like a specific thing that happened?
There were several things that happened.
Okay.
Several factors, several situations that I think most people that go there have a hard time. So it wasn't just me. It wasn't something where I was the only one that either got treated this way or had to go through these harsh conditions. I mean, we would have to go out to the desert for 10 plus days and not shower. And it's under a lot of pressure because essentially lives are on the line. Yeah, a little bit. So I won't go too far into detail, but there were just several things that happened. The leadership, there was a lot of leadership that I was young. First duty station, I never really been under a leader for a super long amount of time. So seeing leadership in that way, just...
What way?
I don't know. I'm not trying to throw anybody under.
No, you don't have to say names. But
no, I know. I'm not going to, obviously. But, and it's over with, I don't hold on to these things. But there are just several... wherever you go, there's going to be good leaders and bad leaders. Mm-hmm. So I got directly put under a leader that I didn't agree with.
Okay.
And I'm a very chill person. I don't go against the grain. I don't go against the rules. And I didn't back then either, for the most part. I don't think. They're probably like, yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
No,
Wait, you consider yourself a rebel? Are you like rebellious?
No, never. No? Maybe in my adult years I started to, but growing up I was always straight.
Because in my case, I am. I have a problem with authority. It's tough. Yeah. It's not like I'm getting in trouble with doing crime, but it just.
You don't like people telling you what to do?
Well, I'm an adult now, so it changed. But when I was a teenager or my early 20s, it's not like I was seeking conflict. It's just that just authority overall, right. and that's not their fault. It was just my fault that I was not able to deal with it as a kid, right? For whatever reason or traumas or whatever things, right? Yeah. So, but then you learn that you kind of have to be a follow leadership to become a good leader, right? Either a good leadership or a bad one, right? Sometimes you kind of have to, I'm going to use this word that maybe is not too popular, but kind of submit in a way to the leadership, even if it's not good, because if it's not good, you learn what not to do.
Yes.
And if it's good, then you learn what to do, right? Yeah. So you kind of
can't be a leader. You can't be a leader if you are never a follower.
Exactly. Because then you don't know how the follower is going to feel about, right? So you had to kind of submit to a level to whatever leadership you're under, and mostly when you're young, right? And I'm guessing that was kind of something similar to you, because you don't seem to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go with the flow. Like you seem to me, at least you give me that vibe to be just like, yeah, I don't agree with that, I'm gonna let them know.
I do seem like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, I was quite the opposite. Growing up, I was probably more submissive than I needed to be. And that came into my adult life, and I didn't stick up for myself, but I think that's a big thing, a big lesson that I learned, especially there, was to be able to stand up for yourself and to not submit to wrong things that are happening, because I did, and it caused me a lot of pain in the end. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So you had to kind of toughen up and like step up for yourself. You know, that's stand up for yourself. So that's kind of like what you learned during that period of time.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. All right. So you spent 10 days without shower one day.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there were a lot of baby wipes being used, but I mean, you can only do so much in 120-degree weather. So
yeah, true. So those trainings that you guys were training the other soldiers, right? So you were technically the enemy. Will you dress like
a little bit, yeah.
like
we had
at the time we're the enemy, right? You were dressed like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we had different uniforms.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Just playing scenarios and stuff.
Yeah. It's kind of like a sport, like a soccer field. Different uniforms, different colors.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
yeah.
And then you just what you
Go
use
at
like paintballs or something.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yep. It depended
What the exercise
what your
was.
mission was. Yeah.
All right. Well, what's one of the missions like?
That
sounds like exciting.
I mean, it sounds pretty cool.
It sounds cool, yeah.
And it kind of is at the beginning, but after 24, 36, all rotations, and a rotation is a month long, essentially. So after so many, it gets exhausting. But we did get to ride, like, helicopters. That was, like, one of my favorite things to do. Nice. Army helicopters, but I keep forgetting the question.
So good. So we were talking about...
What was a mission?
Well, a mission that you did that is, like, the toughest mission. Was that that time that you didn't shower for 10 days? Was that the toughest one, or?
Well, that happened every month.
But you shower now, right?
Yeah, totally. Like, no, never.
That stick to me to this day. Just to keep the tradition.
Gotta man up. This is a dude podcast.
It's a boys podcast.
Just trying to fit in here.
Wait, what are you trying to say? I shower.
Hopefully. I mean, was a lot of time. I mean, there wasn't really anything that sticks out to me the whole time. It was pretty difficult because you're working at such a high level with a bunch of high-level leaders that are under pressure from their leaders, that are under pressure from their leaders, and it just trickles down. So I would say that was the hardest thing, is when there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of things going on, there's a lot of equipment and tanks and all these different assets maneuvering the battlefield. And if one leader gets ticked off or they just can't handle the pressure, then it trickles down
to the unit.
Yep. It trickles down to everybody.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a quote. I mean, not a quote. I don't know what it's called, but I mean, I don't usually. Never mind.
Say the quote.
I don't want to swear though.
It's
like
you can just
stuff rolls downhill, like
stuff.
But like.
Oh, okay, like crap. You're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it rolls downhill. So basically, it trickles down the line.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So poop.
Yeah, but they don't say that word.
Yeah, I know. So poop rolls down. Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
So, but it's true. Once somebody is out of alignment, it all trickles downhill, and it affects every unit to the last soldier. Wow. So
that's why leadership is so important. Like the people you have under you, like you literally are a reflection.
Yeah,
they're a reflection of the leadership. You became more like. You started standing up for yourself in the military. That's where you learned to do that. But back when you were a teenager, you were not doing that, right? So you were more submissive. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
in a way.
In a way, yeah. I was just very quiet. I've always, at a young age, I've always been quiet, play by the rules. I didn't ever really want to
get in trouble,
ruffle any feathers or anything. But
that's so fun.
Not for me. I mean, now maybe a little more risky, but no, my dad. I mean, he was in the Air Force, so he was disciplined growing up, and then he instilled a sense of discipline. I also had 5 older brothers.
Nice.
That picked on me. So I,
Are you the youngest one?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I have a stepbrother and stepsister, which are a few years younger than me, but
okay.
all my brothers are bigger.
I'm the youngest one, too, out of the 3.
Wow.
We are 3. My mom had 3 kids.
All
3 boys.
Yeah.
Yep,
Wow.
I'm the youngest one. I'm this spoiled, apparently.
In my family, I was the favorite one.
Oh, yeah, me too. Me too. Like, I'm the favorite. And
yeah,
like,
she's
what?
the favorite.
Yeah, she's the favorite.
Well.
Like, no, it's just she learned. She's improving. That's what I used to tell my brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brothers, tough guys too. So, yeah, I was raised in that type of environment. So, you're the youngest one of all your brothers. They bully you, right?
They picked on me. They love me.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they're boys, it's different,
Yeah. They protected me when they needed it, but
that's important. That's important. So they will be the ones to mess with you, but if somebody else messes with you, then they're in trouble. They got the other person, right?
Yes.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Because that's what it was with my brothers. Like, they can mess with me, but as soon as a stranger will do it, like, oh, no.
Yeah. No, not happening.
So, how was your growing up? Like, were your parents together?
No, when I was very young, they were.
Okay.
They were married. I mean, if we want to go all the way back, they met, and then a few months later found out they were pregnant with me. So, very, maybe unplanned a little bit.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so when we all moved to Pennsylvania.
I don't trust planned babies, by the way. I don't know. I'm suspicious. If they tell me, like, oh, I was planned, I was like, yeah.
What is going on there?
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Can't be real.
You can, I don't know, man. You're just so sketchy to me. Why? I don't know. Planned babies? The best ones are the not planned.
I know. I don't get the planned ones. But.
Yeah.
But yeah, we moved to Pennsylvania, and my mom had been a drug addict for 35 years on and off total, starting in her teenage years. So when we moved to Pennsylvania, it was really hard on her. She was moving away from her family, and she kind of fell into a depression, I would say, and fell deeper into drugs. And she ended up moving out and doing her own thing for several years. I don't know where you want me to go from there.
No, just talk to me more about your mom and her.
Okay.
Yeah, like she was addicted to drugs, so she went to like the dark path and stuff like that. Yeah. So how was that for you?
That was really hard. There were times where I saw it happen. I saw the drugs, and I've seen things at a young age that kids
shouldn't see.
I wouldn't think they should see it, but
yeah,
so I mean, at first I was very young, so I didn't exactly know what was happening, but I knew that something wasn't right. I'd see my friends who had normal, or at least what seemed to be normal families.
Yeah.
And I mean, what kid doesn't want their parents to stay together? So, I still visited her. I still was able to see her even throughout her addiction. So we've always kind of had this relationship, but it wasn't always full when I was younger. So that led to, I mean, I don't know how deep we want to go here, but
you can go as deep as you want. Yeah.
Okay. But it did lead to a lot of abandonment issues that people deal with when their parent leaves, or rejection. It felt like not that she was intentionally rejecting me, but it is a level of rejection that is hard, hard to deal with, especially when you can't even, you don't even know what rejection is. But going through that, it's carried out. I've seen several instances where it's,
it reflects.
It's affected my life, in several ways. But I would say the good thing is that she ended up moving to Florida. She wanted to get out. She wanted the sun. She just wanted nicer weather. So she ended up marrying somebody else and moving down to Florida for probably 13 years. And growing up, I would always visit her. And so when I was 18, she hit a low point. A really low point where she almost died, and she was sick of it. She was sick of it that the doctors had to, I think the word is resuscitate. Mm-hmm. They had to bring her back to life and keep her alive because she was on the brink of passing away. Wow. And it happened a few times, I think.
OD?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And they had to bring her back to life, and after the last time it happened, she was just so sick of it and sick of living the life she was living. And she gave her life to Jesus, and she really it was a flip of the switch. Her addiction was gone, and she turned away from all of that. So it's a miracle. She is a miracle, and I really believe that is the reason my faith is so strong today. Mm-hmm. Because I grew up watching her, watching
process.
Her addiction, and being a family member of it and an addict is super tough, on everybody involved. So I saw her go from night to day in an instant, and so you can't go against the fact of what just happened there. You don't for her to not go through any withdrawals, for her to not
she just
die
changed.
after that. Yeah, she just changed, and she's been a strong Christian for 10 years now. So she's been sober for 10 years, and I'm super proud of her, and that she's just a light in everybody's lives that I'm able to actually have a super strong relationship with her. So
that's awesome. Is it through her that you kind of became Christian too, or?
Yeah, I would say my dad grew up in a Christian home, and my mom grew up in a Catholic home. So when they got together, they weren't very into faith or anything like that. But when I was younger, they did take me to church every so often, but they were never, never too much committed or anything like that. So my mom fell away. So my dad, he would teach me how to pray, and he'd teach me how to just be strong, and he really was strong for me and for himself, Mm-hmm. So he taught me a lot of the discipline and the responsibility, to be responsible in finances, just life in general. So,
it's so interesting because you do need both sides, right? Because I come from a single mom, right? Mm-hmm. My dad was not there for a long time as well. So as growing like that, I think we do need that father figure, which I did have with my dad because he was not completely gone, but he has himself in some stuff, so he was not present. So but I have my brothers too, but also they needed a father figure, So it's kind of you need both, right? Yeah. It's like a balance. You need the mom. Mom has things that you learn from her, totally. Right? And then dad has other stuff. I think, and this is just how I perceive it. Is that's how that aspect of the discipline, the survival skills, the okay, so problem solving, all those things, and I feel like, at least with my mom, it's like the nurturing part, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, she also stepped up to the role, because she had to. But I think that's kind of neat that both of them
Yeah.
to influence your
Totally.
life. Like,
Totally.
Mom, I'm glad that she's now part of your life and you guys reconnected. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true because, I mean, we're all, men and women were created for a purpose, I would say.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. But, and they each bring something to the table that's super important for the health of the children.
Yeah.
So, and when that's not there, that can cause a lot of issues in the adult life. And I've seen it in my life. I've seen a lot of my struggles come from that, but I don't, you can't hold on to that. You can't be a victim to it.
Yeah.
Or else you'll never move or get out of that.
It was stuck.
So yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's an interesting story, and congratulations to your mom that
Thanks.
she
I'll
found.
tell her that.
Yeah, you tell her that. It's
She'll be
pretty
stoked that she's
Yeah.
shouted out on a podcast.
Yeah, she's very brave. It takes a lot. I've been around people that are addicted to it, and it takes a lot of balls.
Yeah, it really does.
To kind of, and obviously you need some help. And she found it through God and through Jesus. So
totally.
that's pretty cool. Yeah. Tell her that I say, like,
I will.
good job, great job.
Yeah, I'll show her this podcast.
Yeah, shout out to Mom. There you go. All right, so I usually, when I do a podcast, so I send like questionnaire asking people like, what do you want to talk about? It kind of helps me to have a little bit of juice, to, something to gather the questions and topics to follow along. So one of the questions one of your answers was like, when I mentioned like what topic you would like to talk about, one of the topics that you want to mention here, you responded. Your answer was imposter syndrome. So tell me about that. Why that topic and specifically?
I don't know where that came from. Honestly, I've never even talked about imposter syndrome, but I've heard about it. And can I look at my notes?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Look at your notes. Yeah,
because I think the biggest thing is a lot of people tend to feel like they have to have all these credentials. They have to have the education, they have to have the experience, and don't get me wrong, a lot of jobs need that, like require that. You can't be a doctor without, going through training.
Like, I need to have a surgery. Have you done this before? Never. I'm a mechanic.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's not good. It's like a car,
Brain surgery.
Yeah.
I kind of went through this when I first got out of the military. Is like, wow, all I have is military experience. All I have is intelligence experience, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I know what I want to do is
different.
Totally different. And so going through the websites to apply for jobs, and like all the requirements were education, experience. And I'm like, how in the world am I supposed to get a job and get the experience? It just didn't make sense to me. So I'm plugging away, trying to find a job, trying to reach out to anybody that I know. And there are some people that would say, just go back to college. But I don't think necessarily for my field you have to. But what I'm trying to say is that like, you're not an imposter if God called you to it.
Okay.
So if you know that you're called to do something, if you know that you're good at something and you're passionate about it,
you're not an imposter. Yep.
Yeah.
Because that's your calling.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what you have to do, and you feel it.
Exactly.
That you had to do it. Yeah.
And even if you don't see the fruit of it in your life right now, it doesn't mean that it's not your calling. Yeah. Like, there's a process to this.
Yeah.
And I just think if God called you to it, it's already in you.
Yeah.
You know, you just have to cultivate it, you know.
Seek for it.
It's like when you plant a seed, it's like the seed is in the ground, it's there, even though you don't see the fruit or the vegetables of it. It's going to grow and it's going to come. It just takes a process. It takes the cultivating. It takes the rain coming down and watering it and
put the right ingredients, waiting for it to grow, the patience.
Exactly.
Yeah. So would you say that when you have a calling for something that is like something that you're meant to do, right? I speak out of the experience, or some experience too, you know, because you feel it, right? You feel when you're like, I was born for this. Like, this is what I need to do, because I feel it. Everything indicates that this is what I have to do.
Yeah.
Everything starts working out your way. Like, and also not only that, right? But also like, you feel it. You feel the passion for it, and things like that, right? And an example is like, I've worked in marketing for a long time, in video content and things like that. And there's a lot of technicalities of it that I don't like doing very much, right? Like an example is editing the videos. I like the end product when I see it.
Exactly.
But there are parts of the editing that I don't enjoy very much. Like, that's why when I started growing my company, one of the first people that I hired was a video editor, because I wanted to stop doing that. Don't get me wrong, there's like aspects of it that I love doing, the creative aspect of things. So like, I have an idea, there's the creative aspect, and then there's the end product, which I love to see, and then middle is the editing and all that stuff. I like doing it, like, and I'm good at it, but if I can choose not to do it, I will do that. I will choose not to. You know, sometimes I still have to jump in and do some editing. I have the knowledge to do it, but I'm blessed because I have the team, and they're very good at it too. They help me out to do that now, right, with my clients and myself, and I love that. I love that I don't have to do all of it myself anymore.
Good.
So but the growing part of like the creative, I love doing the creative, and I also love the business part. Mostly the networking part, when I'm talking to people, when I doing this with them, having conversations. This is what I really enjoy doing. That's why I started the podcast, because it's like something that I like to do, is just talk. I like to talk. So I like to talk. I like to get to know people, you know, more about them. So I feel like since I've been doing this, I've seen a change on my life in that aspect of that. Okay, I think this is what I am meant to do. And I think, you know, God gives you kind of like the clues, and like when you start doing what you have to do, he gives you like, okay, here's a reward, and he's like, prove that this is what you need to do, right? Because then if you do other stuff, you feel like frustrated, miserable. It's in my case, I feel that way. Every time I'm not following my ambitions, or like my goals, or what my dreams are, I start feeling miserable, depressed.
Yeah, that's so true.
Mad.
Oh my gosh. I actually moved out here for a real estate internship. So I got my real estate license. So now I'm a real estate agent, but I was going hard at the agent thing for 7 months straight, and I wasn't even moving the needle. And I felt just uneasy in my spirit. Like I knew I felt stressed. I felt exactly what you're saying, overwhelmed, and I just wasn't having fun.
You're getting upset too, right? Like you start getting upset with yourself, frustrated. Yeah.
So I was working at that for a while, and I got on an amazing team out here, and that accelerated what I was doing, but I just hit a wall. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? Is this really what I want to be doing for the next 5, 10, 20 years? And it wasn't. I knew it. I knew it from the beginning. And I say that because I've always had this stirring in my heart for interior design, and real estate investing. So the idea of becoming an agent came from real estate investing, my passion to do that. And because I had a little bit of success in it before, it really was like, oh, that's really what I want to do. And if I get my real estate license, then it'll help me and I'll be able to yada, yada, yada. And that's true. It does help. And I would recommend all investors to get their license at some point. But it took over my life. And it started to really wear me down because I went from loving what I wanted to do, which was design and investing, to only doing agent things and not being able to work on anything else. Really took over my life. And it doesn't have to be that way, but that's just what happened to me is I kind of let it take over my life. And I had a plan. I had a plan to get out and be selling houses, and it just wasn't working out that way. And so I ended up leaving the team and decided to pursue what I've always known I wanted to pursue. So I really think that we're each given that gift or that calling or that passion, whatever you want to call it. It's that one thing that really lights you up inside and gets you excited. And not everything about a certain field is going to excite you, but if you keep going back to this one thing and it's like you can't shake that feeling, then that's probably what you're called to do. Yeah. That's probably what you're good at. That's probably what
you're gonna succeed. Yeah,
exactly.
And sometimes the fear of like, no, and I think we let ourselves be influenced by other people's fears as well. You know?
Totally.
Mostly like sometimes family, they're like around you or people close to you.
Yeah.
And the typical is that, oh no, at least I speak for myself, right? When I started working, doing media and stuff like that, like, oh no, but you're going to be broke, become an engineer, become this and that, you know? And I was like, but when I was going to college, I was going for biochemical engineering, right? And I consider myself a smart person, you know, and I'm smart, you know. I'm not a genius, but I'm smart, you know.
All right.
Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, thank you. I'm
just kidding. You're very smart. You're very smart.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm okay. Like my classes, I studied and I passed, and I was like in my chemistry classes, I passed them, and when I was in college, I was like in the top 5 like students. Like I was. But I didn't enjoy it that much, you know. So then it's funny because while I was going to college, I was paying college doing this, right? Doing video content, doing for events and things like that. So my passion was paying for my career, what I was going for, right? It didn't make any sense until like one day I met this life coach, a good friend of mine. His name is Horacio. He's in Florida now, and he's like, because I got an internship at this TV station when I was up in LA, up over there in LA, and he was like, we went to eat something, or the group and stuff like that. And he's like, "What do you want to do, Tony?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to college for this, and then like, so why are you here? You know, you know, what are you doing here? Internship here?" He's like, and I responded because I kind of like this video content. I love creating video content, like. It's a passion that I have. He's like, so why are you studying for that? And then I went back to what I was told to me, which was, because it's safe. You know, I want to have a career. I want to finish college first and have something, a backup plan. The typical story, right? So, and then he's telling me like, you're wasting your time, man. He's like, if you're gonna go for this, go all at it. And you will make money, like you will be safe, you know, but you're going to waste your time going for something that you don't like. So I changed, like a week after that, he opened my eyes and I changed my mindset completely.
Good for you.
Well, yeah, but I struggle a lot because after when I did that, I gotta. It's not like, oh yeah, now I'm bowling, you know.
No. Never happens like that.
It never happens like that. It actually went downhill for a long time, and I was like,
oh my gosh, story of my life.
Yeah, so I went downhill and it's like struggle a lot and the same, like, you know, like do you have experience doing this? You have
Yeah.
experience doing that. And a lot of time I had BS my way around, you know, like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You know, I have experienced that by watching other people doing it.
Oh my gosh. So that adds to the imposter syndrome. Like, literally, I called myself an interior designer the other day, and I was like, wait, what? Like, or even investor, like, I am an investor, though. It is. And especially if, again, that's something that's, like, been in your soul, you already are that thing.
Yeah.
You just have to, go through the process, and it is a process of maybe going downhill for a little bit. But if, you can either choose to do that 9 to 5 that you're going to hate, or you can choose to have a fuller life and a more happier life because you know that you're walking in your calling.
So you'll say you're an entrepreneur.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you are an entrepreneur, just that you have something specific that you are an entrepreneur for. And just sometimes you're an interior designer, then they hasn't been in business for a long time. Just to say that, right? That you might not have like those clients in the bucket to say like, oh, I have done this many projects, but you are an interior designer.
Yeah.
You're good at it. I've never seen you work, but I'm guessing you're good at it for the way that you talk. So it's just you are an interior designer. You just need to embrace it.
Yeah, you got to claim it.
Yeah.
And declare it, and
Let's go get some clients right now.
Yeah.
So if you want your house designed right now, hit them up. Hit her up. Like just call her, text her, DM. So you can get your house look nice and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's right.
Well, we've been talking for a little bit more than an hour now.
Yeah.
How about that?
Wow. Holy moly.
Yeah. Is there something you want to mention before we finish the podcast? Something that you... let's do this. So far, in this stage of your life, what's like something that you will advise somebody that is kind of like starting... going through the same things that you are? Like, what would you tell them? What would be something like, you know what, do this 3 things and you'll see a change in your life?
3 things.
Yeah, or it doesn't have to be 3, it can be only 1, but what would you advise somebody?
So the piece of advice, or something that's one of my very good leaders has told me, is that God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. So like each and every one of us have a calling. We're already called. So it's just a matter of time before we are qualified. So I think to go with that, the piece of advice I would say is just like, no matter what your background, no matter what your education is, just being relentless in pursuit of your calling is
the best.
Is what you have to do. I mean,
yeah,
I guess just finding what that gift is and what that passion is and relentlessly pursuing it, talking to the people that you need to talk to, just keep reaching out. And I mean, I'm the kind of person who thinks that
comfortable.
Yeah, I just want it to be authentic.
Be authentic. Exactly. Be authentic. All right, so I'm going to ask the question again. We start over from this question so the editors know what to do. All right, so if I'm like someone that's starting, right, my entrepreneurship, or like I'm just out of college, what would be your advice to me, or somebody that is in that position? Like, what would you like as this point in your life? What have you learned that has helped you move on forward, and what would you advise somebody? That's starting.
So I guess I'm really passionate about this topic, so I just really want to get it right. So I'm gonna look down at my notes, but the piece of advice that I've been given is, or at least it's kind of like just like a statement, but God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. So if you are called, you can claim that you are that calling. And there's a process to it. So you're going to have to walk through that process, and you might feel like you're not qualified, but it's a process of the qualifying. So you will get to the point where you do feel qualified, but it takes time. So I would say to anybody starting out is just to be relentless, and no matter your background, no matter your education, or whatever you think you are or are not, you just have to find that gift and that passion. Find whatever that thing is that ignites you inside and excites you, and relentlessly pursue it. And if you're chasing something you're not passionate about, there will never be that like continual fire in your soul, and it'll always like crash and then
died off.
Yeah, it's just it's not fun. You're not living the full life that was intended for you. So you just have to find that one thing that you can't shake and relentlessly pursue it. And if there's an answer you don't know, if you feel like overwhelmed, just start with one thing. Just start with one thing small. And the biggest thing, this is off script. I don't. This just came to me.
Go, girl. Go, girl. You're on it.
The one thing that has been like really reoccurring in my life lately, or at least at the beginning of this process, was stewarding what you have now, like stewarding what is in your hand well. So there's something in your hand, whether it be that class that you want to take, or that little project that you want to do. Anything that is at your fingertips, anything that you can do right now, steward it well. And I mean by that, do it well. Like, perfect it if you can. Do whatever you can to make that thing special or excellent, or, perfect your current craft, and then it'll build from there.
Yeah.
That is literally what I've been learning right now, and I've seen so much more progress doing that than getting overwhelmed with a ton of information, education. Like, there's so many opportunities. There's so many jobs come up, and it's like, oh, should I do that or should I not? Is that going to help me? Is it not? Is it going to take my time up? So I think whatever is in your hand now, just take care of it and nurture it.
Do it.
And see what happens after that.
Yeah.
Take the little action, and then the big action will come, and be patient. Be patient. So
that's a great advice.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
That was from the Lord.
Yeah, there you go. Hey. I'm
gosh.
pretty sure somebody needed to hear that. They're going to hear that now. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So I love that. So God doesn't choose. What does it got?
God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called.
There you go.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's deep. I like it. Yeah, and be relentless. I love that.
Yeah.
Be relentless in your goals.
You told me that one time, I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
I probably stole that from you.
You did. You did. No,
but it was so good.
It was good.
Shoot,
yeah.
you're right.
Yeah, be relentless. Exactly that. I love that. You actually have it here in my arm. Be relentless.
My gosh. Yeah, with you.
Yeah. Be relentless. No fear, no doubt.
Yeah, that's so good.
And this is just something I tell myself, because obviously I need to be relentless and have no fear, no doubt. But that's so great. Good. That was a great advice. Yeah, I love it. I think I'm going to put it somewhere.
I mean, honestly, everything that I learned is from wise people. So
you just call me wise?
I can't totally take credit for it, but I'll take some credit because it came out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I was just kidding. But no, I mean, it's a process. And you get wisdom from several people. Good or bad. I mean, good leaders or bad leaders.
Exactly.
So,
surround yourself with the right people.
Yeah, and you can learn from the, poor leadership. Too.
Yeah.
That's what I've done.
Yeah. The not to do's from them, right?
Yes.
And then the to do's with the right ones. Yeah, that's so crucial. Surround yourself. You heard it yourself, guys, from her, for Jordyn Johnson. Yeah, you heard it from her. God doesn't qualify. What?
God doesn't. Oh my gosh, God doesn't call the qualified.
There you go.
He qualifies the called.
There we go. That's
Yeah.
deep. That's a good one, guys. So surround yourself with the right people, people that you can learn from, and any experience that you go through is for a reason. It's just part of the way. It's part of the path that you need to follow to get to where you're meant to be. So it was a pleasure to have you today.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
honored to be here. So
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you for being a great guest, the first female guest of With the Boys. Well, how can they find you?
Jordyn Johnson .spry. It's JORDYN Johnson .spry.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So you guys know what to do. Go check her out. Follow her. Send her a message. Tell her that you saw this podcast. All right, guys. And you guys know what to do. You guys know where to find us. All right. So thank you for coming and hang out with the boys. Well, in this case, with the boy and the girl. Right. Thank you for checking this video out. You guys know what to do. Go check on YouTube. Subscribe, ring that bell so you guys can get a notification every time that we post a new episode. All right. Also go to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the social media platforms. You guys can find us there. We bring amazing people here to the podcast so they can share their stories, so you guys can get value from it. All right, guys. Thank you. See you guys later. Peace.